Hey guys, it's Raul again, and today I'm going to be doing the monthly recommendations for the month of February. For you guys who don't know, the monthly recommendations group is a group that was created by Trina from Between Chapters and Kayla from the channel Kayla Ray, and I will link both of their pages down below, as well as the Goodreads group for you guys to join in on recommending books every single month on different topics. So the topic for the month of February is kind of contradicting the normal topic that everybody's really talking about in February, which is love. So the topic for this month is not another love story. So books that either don't contain any love at all, or where love isn't really the main focus of these books. So I've got a couple of recommendations for you. Some of these I mentioned in some of my other recommendations, but I want to mention them again because they are great books that don't really contain love stories, or main focus isn't on a love story or anything. So let's just go ahead and get started. Now the first book I have to recommend to you guys is one that really doesn't need much of an introduction, and that is Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. A lot of you people out there already know what it's about. Futuristic, kind of dystopian world. These kids that are playing this kind of virtual reality game and this Easter egg hunt that they have to kind of go through. Yeah, so no love story in this one. It's great, action-packed, wonderful. If you guys have not read this one, you guys need to, because this is just one of my favorite books I've read. I absolutely love it. This, to me, is just like perfection in a book. So definitely read it if you haven't. The next book that I have to recommend to you guys is Confessions of a Murder Suspect by James Patterson and Maxine Pytro. This is the first book in James Patterson's young adult series. I know he writes a lot of adult, but this is one of his young adult series that he's written. This first book follows 4 siblings whose parents are murdered, and they're kind of trying to figure out what happened to their parents, how did they die, who killed their parents, and that kind of thing. These 4 kids are really strange because they're raised kind of differently than normal kids, so they may seem a little bit weird, but they are just like really smart. It's just mainly because of the way that they were raised that they feel like they're so much weirder than a normal kid. But this first book in the series I really enjoyed. So far I think there are 3 books in this series. I haven't continued on with the series, but I really do, because I really enjoyed this first one. And in kind of the fashion of James Patterson, these are very fast-paced. They have very short chapters, so they're really easy to get through, really easy to read, and stop at certain points. So it's you don't really have to sit down for hours on end with this one, because it's really quick to get through. Now the next book that I have to recommend for you guys, I know is one that I've recommended before, and that is Avalon by Mindy Arnett. This is the first book in a duology by Mindy Arnett. It is a sci-fi young adult series about these intergalactic thieves that go out to kind of steal the ship and then find a lot of things on this ship that they go to get. It gets crazy after that. It's really fun, really action-paced. There is a little bit of kind of a love interest in it, but is not the main focus at all in this book. It is very small compared to everything that's going on. Like I said, it's not the main focus. It's not what drives the main character to do the things that he's doing, or what motivates him to do the things that he's doing. It's family and the love of family, and for his sister and everything. So it's just a great book that just doesn't focus on love, that's very action-packed. Really great young adult sci-fi. I haven't read a lot of young adult sci-fi, but this is definitely one of my favorite ones. And the next book that I have to recommend to you guys is Rotten Ruin by Jonathan Mayberry. I know I've recommended this to you guys before. I am currently 2 books into this series. Planning on reading the 3rd book next month, which I'm super excited about, because I've been reading this series with Di from Dice's 19 Hearts books, and this is just so wonderful. There is a little love interest in this one also, but another book that it's not the main focus. The main focus is not about the love interest and kind of what's going on with the main characters. There is a bigger picture and a lot of other things that are going on. This is kind of in post-apocalyptic world where zombies have like overrun the world and that kind of thing, and Benny Moore, our main character, is kind of trying to figure out his place in the world, what he can do to kind of contribute to society, and trying to find a job within society and that kind of thing. So it's really fun, really action-packed, very intense. If you're a fan of The Walking Dead, definitely check this one out, because this is just an amazing series that I'm really enjoying. And the last couple of books that I have to recommend is the Frankenstein Series by Dean Koontz. And these are the 5 books in the series that consist of Prodigal Son, City of Night, Dead and Alive, Lost Souls, and The Dead Town. And this is basically a series where Victor Frankenstein, obviously you guys have heard of the Frankenstein story. Victor Frankenstein, it's years and years in the future, he's kind of found a way to make himself immortal and Frankenstein's monster is kind of still alive, and he kind of creates or tries to create an army of other monsters like he did with Frankenstein. It's really, really great, really action-packed. I don't think I really talked about this series a lot on my channel, but this is definitely one of my favorite series that I've read. It's just super action-packed, super creepy, very scary, so go into it, you know, mindful of knowing that it is horror. And this series does have somewhat of a little love interest, but they don't really touch on it a lot. It's very kind of briefly mentioned throughout. You know that eventually the two main characters throughout the series kind of, you know, get together and get married and start a family, but they don't really focus on that at all. The author doesn't really tell us too much detail on it, so it's not really a focus on this series at all. It's mostly the kind of horror and the mess that's happening with Victor Frankenstein and him, you know, trying to create this army of, like, monsters and that kind of thing. It's really, really fun. I read this series a couple years ago, and I feel like I need to reread it just to kind of see if I still love it as much as I did when I read it years ago. So yeah, this is definitely one that I absolutely loved. Absolutely love this series. No love focus. So yeah, definitely check this one out if you haven't already. So yeah, guys, that is my short video on recommendations for books that don't contain love, or love isn't the main focus in them. I will link, like I said, all of the pertinent information to all of these groups down below if you guys want to join. Thank you guys all for watching. Comment down below. Let me know if you guys have read any of these also, and what you guys thought of them. And let me know also books that you guys recommend me to read that don't contain love or aren't love focused or anything. And I will see you guys all next time.